Okay, let's get going then. So we're at round 7 now of Tier 3 Season 15 season. Oh, there's... Right, just could hear myself then. It's not very good. So yeah, last round we saw Peachy extend his lead in the championship, so he's got quite a big lead over his teammate Kanata heading into this round, but it is still not over yet, so there's still a good chance for Kanata to catch up. It's really a two-horse race at the moment, but Pyro and Eroticos and Prime Call all doing very well in the championship too. But as for Nordschleife, let's see how the grid shapes up. So we've got the Lambo of Jezza qualifying all the way down in 15th today. So a below par qualifying for him. Maybe he didn't even set a lap. I know that some people in some of the tiers didn't get a lap in. Then we got Cameron down in 14th, and the Jag been struggling in the Jag all season. The other Lambo in 13th, so maybe the Lambo isn't as strong here as it was in Alsace, where it really was the car to beat. Then we got Harry in the Nissan GTR. He is lining up 12th, just behind Spin in the other GTR in 11th place. So the two teammates there outside the top 10. It's not a good qualifying for Nissan. We got Ethan in the other Jag. He is in 10th place. And Deco in the GR Super, really quick in some of the practice races throughout the week leading up to this, lining up 9th there. Anonymous getting a good qualifying out of his Toyota FT1, which we know is not a good car anymore since the physics updates. He's lining up 8th, and Astro in the Peugeot RCZ lining up 7th, so another solid top 10 qualifying for Astro. 6th place for Eroticos, doing well in the championship. He will be hoping to pick off a couple of cars because he was another one who was pretty fast in practice races. We got Pagel in 5th place in the Mazda, so the Mazda's going well in qualifying. Then our championship leader, Peachy, only 4th place in the M6. Pyro in 3rd, really good qualifying for him. One of his best probably so far. Prime Call up in 2nd place. He's been on fire so far this season, worked his way up into the top 3 in the championship despite only, he missed a round and started the season off as a reserve, so doing really well. And then Kanata getting the bonus point for the pole position, so he's in prime position really to start to eat into the lead of his teammate in the championship, and he needs to get a good result in both races here really and beat Peachy to bring this into the final week with a realistic chance of overtaking him. But let's get going. We are going to only do 2 laps around the shortest version of the Nordschleife. It doesn't include any of the GP track. Lights are off and away we go. All the drivers starting in the final couple of corners as well further down. Looks like Kanata gets it into turn 1 really easily there. Pyro putting a bit of pressure on Prime Call a little bit further back. Looks like Eroticos was trying to have a move on Pagel, and he couldn't pull it off. Now coming under a bit of pressure himself from Astro behind, so let's stick with this little battle. Anonymous in the back as well. Everyone getting around all right so far. Got Deco in 9th all on his own, quite a big gap down to Spin in 10th. Ethan dropping a spot, and everyone else pretty much where they started. So we're going on to the first section of the track where it is full throttle the whole way through. Maybe some of these guys will have to lift slightly to make this corner. Quite a big lift there from Kanata, and back on full throttle as they continue their march up the hill. Everyone very close together at the moment. Now we've got a really tricky braking zone coming up, so if anyone can get a look in, it's quite high likelihood that there'd be some sort of incident. Looks like everyone's taken the corner pretty well there, all in the top 9 pretty close together. Kanata still in P1 with Prime Call, and Pyro coming under a little bit of pressure now from Peachy. So let's ride on board with Peachy as we head down the hill, and then we go up the hill a little bit before a really tight left-hander coming up right here. You have to just slightly go on the brakes so that you can make that corner, and then brake even more for a bit of a slower section through here. Everyone doing really well, a bit wide there for Pyro. That's going to allow Peachy to close the gap as we enter another high-speed section. We're going to go all the way up into 5th gear before we hit the next corner. Everyone starting pretty well. I was expecting to see more incidents, but we are entering the really hard part of the Nordschleife. The whole northern section from west to east is very, very difficult. Pyro's struggling a little bit around these sections, getting caught by Peachy, maybe holding back Peachy a little bit at the moment as well. Looks like Kanata is starting to drive away from this chasing pack. And then we've got Pagel really close with Rotikos just behind as well. So all the way down to first gear for this corner. Really tight, slow corner, potentially the slowest one on the track. Everyone seems to have gotten away with it. Pagel losing traction, which is so easy to do in that Mazda, but still holding off Rotikos pretty well here. Quite a difficult left-hander they've just gone through. You need to try and carry as much speed, but if you carry too much, you're into the wall straight away. And yeah, more traction loss from Pagel. That's going to allow Rotikos to really close in here. Dropped Astro a little bit as well. Deco up to P8 as well. So Pagel going very defensive, and he looks like he's lagging all over the place, which isn't great, and Rotikos not really able to do anything. Instead gives Pagel a bump up, and now he's going to start catching Peachy because he just got catapulted up the hill there with a huge amount of assistance from Rotikos. Primecall actually getting away from Pyro here as well, so this looks like it might be a move. Let's see. Pagel's having a look, and Peachy surviving for now. Now there's a little braking here to make sure you make that corner. Pagel's still all over the back of Peachy, fancying a move. And not much he can do at the moment. Peachy having a little bit of lag here as well. So yeah, Pyro's got a bit of breathing space now, of about a second to Peachy behind, and yeah, it's gonna, well, he needed to take the corner a little bit better. Peachy got a really good exit from there, now has a chance to finally get past Pyro. If he can, he'll start making progress towards Primecall, I'm sure. And nothing he can do just yet, so let's have... Oh, Rotikos sliding, and he's in the wall. Pagel made some contact with him as well, and that is Rotikos all the way down to 8th now. Now he's outside the top 9. He's on reverse grip pole as it stands. Got a bit of a gap to Hurricane, so the guys behind must have been in the walls a little bit, because Rotikos survived in the top 10 somehow. He's got loads of damage. Pagel, a big loser there as well. Let's go back and watch it again on board with Pagel. So remember, he's got Rotikos behind him at the moment. And there's Rotikos going for the move and just completely loses it. One more time from Rotikos' point of view. So he's got the overspeed on Pagel here. Pagel went wide into the entry of that corner. There's a little bit of lag at play here. Rotikos decides to send it, and yeah, completely loses control of the car there. He's not got any traction control on, you can see, which probably might have saved him in this scenario. So unfortunate for Rotikos. Pagel has some damage as well. Really good for Harry, getting a good few points as it stands. So he's made good progress, as has Spin, who's gone up. Astro's made a mistake. Let's see what's happened with Astro. Up in 5th place here. Going through, again, like we said, this northern section of the track is pretty difficult. He just goes over the grass, loses control of his car, and he's got loads of damage himself as well. So Harry might get another easy position here, because he'll know that Astro potentially has dirty tyres, and he's going wide as well. Astro's struggling to take these corners now, and Harry's gonna try and move around the outside. But Astro's got the advantage here. Yep, just ran out of track, trying to go the long way around, but he's still very close to Astro. Yeah, Harry's having to lift to avoid making contact with the car in front. His damage is gone though, so now Astro can kind of regain some composure and carry on. We've got Pagel chasing him down as well, so let's see what's happening a bit further up. Peachy's still fairly close to Pyro. We're getting to just a couple of corners away from the back straight, the main straight, which goes on forever and ever. And Peachy is in slipstream range right now, so a good final corner here and able to floor it compared to Pyro should give him a chance of getting an overtake done. Yeah, he looks... He might be a little bit too far away. The problem he's got is the Mazda top speed is better than the BMW top speed, and they're in 6th gear now. Looks like he's gaining a little bit on him, so he is getting benefit from the slipstream. Might not be enough to get close on this lap though, and they've only got one more lap to do it. A little bit further back, Harry is going to have a go on the RCZ, so that Nissan with huge overspeed there, going to comfortably get ahead of Astro. Pagel is closing in very quickly as well. Astro might have a chance to get Harry back now because Astro's got the slipstream to benefit from, but they're running out of space before we reach the final braking zone on the track. And it looks like Harry's going to survive, so now he's got a good opportunity to make a little bit more progress, managing to overtake a bunch of cars in the top 10 on that first lap. Anonyma really causing issues for Spin at the moment. Spin's made good progress in this race. He started in 11th and now he's up into 6th, and his teammates up from 12th to 7th, so they're making progress at the same rate. Spin trying to get one more on Anonyma, but Anonyma's feeling a bit more comfortable in this opening sector. Looks like someone's in the wall. Let's go all the way back and see. Jezza is not having a good time there. He's yeah, he was in the wall facing the wrong way. Ethan dropping back as well. He was in the top 10 in qualifying. He's down to 13th behind Hurricane now. And yeah, he won't be challenging Hurricane on this straight. What about the battle in the top 4? So yeah, Primecore's not really got away from these guys. Pyro does have a bit of a gap to Peachy now, so he's not going to come under pressure. It's looking pretty straightforward in the top 4. Exactly how they started is how they line up on the grid, all starting to space out a little bit. Yeah, everyone's pretty spaced out. Pagel just ahead of Astro, so Astro's lost another position there. Erotico's still on reverse grid pole as it stands, but he could get a few more points out of this sprint race. So how it looks for the championship at the moment is, yeah, Kanata's doing well. He's got the fastest lap, obviously, because he was lead. Oh, there's Astro off track, and he's potentially going to fall behind Deco as well here. So it was going pretty well in the first half of the first lap for Astro, and now it's just going from bad to worse in the RCZ, and he's off again. It's an unforgiving track, and Astro's learned that the hard way now. Hurricane looking for a move. Astro's got some dirty tyres, but yeah, Hurricane really sent it and then went into the wall a little bit. A bit of contact between the two of them. Ethan trying to take advantage now as well. And Ethan looks like he got that overtake done off the track. He is ahead of Hurricane. There's been some sort of incident. Let's ride on board with Hurricane and see what happened. Here comes Ethan around the outside, and Ethan just doesn't break in time. He whacks Hurricane into the wall as well. And yeah, it looks like Ethan let Hurricane pass because of that. So not the best driving around the Nord that I've seen. Now it looks like Mighty Mini Smiley or Harry is really struggling at the moment around some of these corners. Pagel's got an opportunity now to get another position here. Yeah, the Nissan's really strong in this part of the track, that's for sure. It's glued to the ground and takes these medium speed corners pretty well, but now this is where the Mazda's going to start coming into its own. Really long drag race up the hill with the slipstream to assist it. Pagel could get the move done before we get to the little breaking point where the kink is about to arrive. If he takes it better than Harry, then he's got that position sewn up. Let's see how they tackle it. Harry going really defensive there. Right, he's going to go swing to the outside, and he manages to keep the speed well, Harry. And Pagel can't get the position just yet. And Pagel goes off track very slightly. And Harry's going to be comfortable in these braking zones compared to the Mazda as well. Eroticos and Deco pretty close behind, so battle for 7th is between these four. A little bit further up. Still holding off Slim pretty well. Slim can't get close enough to threaten a move. Pyro looks like he's lost the position of Peachy. Let's see what's happened between these two then. bit wide into the wall there for Pyro, and then he's all out of shape for the next corner, and Peachy just, yeah, almost loses it, trying to shut the door on Pyro to make sure he doesn't chuck it down the inside, but he's got that position all sewn up. And now, well, Pyro didn't actually lose any time to him in all that infield section, so he's still doing pretty well. He's got a chance to, if he stays close enough with the straight line speed, to nick this podium position just before the finish line. But yeah, we haven't even looked at Kanata once in this race. He's just been all on his own. Let's see if we can even see Prime Call. Yeah, Prime Call's maybe 6 or 7 seconds back by the looks of things. So a really dominant performance here from Kanata. He just needs to nail these last few corners as we see him go a little bit airborne, which was nice, cool thing to see. Then Prime Call has completely driven away from Peach. Now Peachy and Pyro very close together at the moment. Start to hear the screaming of the Mazda engine as it starts to approach. Pyro's got a lot of more speed at this point than Peachy. And Peachy, oh, he puts some 2 tyres on the dirt, gets away with it. Pyro's super close behind now. Oh, there's no tier number. Oops. It's tier 3. Right, here we go. The last couple of corners before the straight. As soon as we exit here, looks like both of them took the corner pretty well. Looks like Pyro got a much better exit, and he's got the slipstream. This should be fairly straightforward for Pyro. He's going for it already. Actually, oh, I don't know what that was. It must have been a little bit of a bump draft, because Peachy is a little bit further ahead now. Peachy's gone on the outside. Pyro is going to get the position before we get to the top of the hill. And I think maybe he wanted to bump draft him so that he didn't get overtaken instantly, because what's going to happen now is Peachy is going to get some overspeed on Pyro. He's running out of road to try and move. He's nearly off track as well. And it looks like he gets away with it, but Kanata gets the win with a fastest lap, it looks like, as well. We'll have to see if that continues to be the fastest lap. Prime Call second, Pyro with a great overtake at the end, and defense as well to keep P3. Peachy P4, so he loses a chunk of points to Kanata. Anonymous in 5th place. Spin is 6th. Harry with a good recovery up to 7th. Pagel with a really battered car is in 8th, just ahead of Eroticos, and Deco on reverse grid pole in that Toyota Supra. Astro, unfortunate, dropped down to 11th. Then we've got Ethan, not too far behind him in 12th. Hurricane in 13th in the end. We saw them have a bit of a contact a bit earlier on. Then we got Cameron in 14th. And then a little bit further back, unfortunate for Jezza, he finishes where he started, down in 15th. Right, let's find the feature then. So it'll be interesting to see what Kanata can do through the field, because he's going to have to start P10 now. So he didn't have to do pretty much anything. Hold on, I can't talk and look for the stream at the same time. There we go. Yeah, so the advantage will be for Peachy at the start of this feature race, obviously starting ahead of his rival Kanata in the running order by a few positions, actually. It's going to have Pyro and Prime Call in between them, who are both quick on their own as well. So a lot of battles to come, I'm sure. It's going to be a really tricky feature race. I'm expecting medium strategies for pretty much everyone, because the tyre wear is pretty unforgiving on ×5. So this time we've got 6 laps of the shortened Nordschleife track. We got Deco on pole position. He's just coming around the final corner now. Some of these guys starting before the penultimate corner even, and that's why the top 3 have really got away from Harry, who started in the braking zone of the corner. Looks like Erotico's got a pretty good turn 1. Then we got Harry in P4 just ahead of his teammate Spin. Anonymous is 6th. Peachy. Kanata's all the way up to 8th already, so let's see what happened with Kanata. Let's get a good view. So very good start for the man in P2 in the standings. Prime Colin Pyro. Okay, not the best attempt at an overtake there from Prime Call. Both him and Pyro suffering for it. Looks like Astro's going to take Pyro and get P9 as well. So really good bit of opportunism for Astro. His feature race starting fairly well. Looks like Prime Call having to go side by side with Ethan, and he's won that. So Pyro down at 10th, Prime Call down to 11th is not a great start for them. Let's go back towards the front and see how Deco's getting on. So he's on the mediums, as is Eroticos. Eroticos stayed really close to Deco at the start of this race. They've already started to drop Pagel, and then there's an even bigger gap behind him. Everyone taking that corner fairly well. Let's see if there's any close battles. Like Spin's very close to Anonyma right now. He's fancying that position. He should have it. He's thinking about going around the outside. Not a good idea. This looks like it's an accident waiting to happen. Spin backs out of it. Absolutely the right call to make there. Try and get him on a different corner. And yeah, Peachy lurking behind as well might be able to take advantage of this situation. Kanata all on his own at the moment. He's dropped Astro a little bit after that incident before the start of the race even happened. Whoa! Really early on the brakes there for Anonyma, put Spin off, and we've got a car that has span. It was Pagel from P3. What's happened to Pagel? Could have been a podium, and yeah, it just goes on the grass in 4th gear, taking way too much speed, and good job he was ghosted there. Ghosting is off, but GT likes to still ghost cars. So Pagel down to last place now, so he's got a long race ahead of him, 5 3/4 laps probably. So let's see anything else happening. We've got Pyro up into 9th now, benefiting from that. Astro going a little bit wide into the braking zone, takes the corner fine nonetheless. Pyro might have a chance, but the braking zone's going to come a little bit too early. Down into 2nd as you kind of shove the car around that cambered corner. And Pyro braking there, which wasn't necessary, but he was a little bit out of position. And yeah, he's not taking much speed around these corners, not got much confidence at this stage of the race. Spin has lost it, right? The first spin incident of the night. Right, it's the braking zone down into 1st gear, and yeah, he loses it because you do have to turn the car as you are fully braking. Loses the positions to Anonyma and Peachy, and manages to avoid any damage. Kanata getting held up behind him as he gets back up to speed now as well. And yeah, Kanata just tucking in behind at the moment. Everyone very close behind Peachy. Peachy doing very well so far in this feature race. Already up to the position that he finished the sprint race in. And he's got 3 drivers that he must feel he could catch. Harry up in 3rd place. Started very well, all on his own the whole race so far. Erotico's starting to lose a bit of ground to Deco. That is the gap between these two. So Deco really taking advantage of the GR Supra, which is a super fast car out here. Should be a little bit disappointed with this sprint result, but obviously aiming to redeem it with a comfortable win potentially in this feature race, as long as he keeps it on track. He's going 2 wheels on the grass. The new physics do forgive you for doing that. The old physics probably would have spun Deco around. Everyone still doing pretty well. Kanat looks like he's got a bit of a run on Spin. Just going to head into the carousel. Can't really do an overtake on the carousel, especially if you're half on it and half off it like Kanata was. But yeah, he gets away with it. Pyro not really closing the gap on this little battle either. lots of pressure on Spin at this moment, and yeah, we're in the portion of the track where spins are quite likely. Spin's not taking these corners well. Kanata's going for it, and Spin leaves the space, and they're both still side by side. Spin's got the inside line for the next corner, and he's going to keep that position again for now. Kanata trying a bit of a switchback, but he's stuck on the outside, and there's not much he can do. But again, he gets a better exit from that corner and has to back out going up here. I'm wondering if he had this kind of lag on his stream with Spin or not, because that would be making me a bit hesitant to try and move just in case the car lags somewhere and kills me. Yeah, brakes quite early for that corner because there's a car in front as well. Seems like a matter of time. Gives him a bump instead. And here comes Pyro, managing to close in very nicely. There wasn't that lag. Oh, that's unfortunate. Right, Pyro's dropped off a little bit. Anonymous struggling at this point as well, and he might lose that position to Spin. They're going to go side by side into a corner you don't really want to go side by side in, because this is, the exit is so important, but oh no. Oh god. This is a disaster. Alright, let's join Anonymous. So yeah, he gets the exit of the carousel pretty bad. That allows Spin to close the gap. Now we're going to see Spin try and go around the outside. Anonymous kind of punts him off the track a little bit there. Then gets a really fortunate bump draft, which is going to help him all the way down the road. Let's see how that looked from Pyro's point of view. Because he was quite a way behind, you can see from here. Spin comes back on, and then Pyro ends up accidentally bump drafting Spin instead of just going straight past him. So that saves Spin and keeps Spin up in P6. Spin's got some damage, so he should get overtaken by Pyro pretty easily. Anonymous giving Spin the bump draft, but it's not going to be enough anyway because he's got absolutely no top speed in that Nissan with the damage. Prime Call's going to follow him around. Kanata's just going to stick in Prime Call's slipstream as well. Now he's going into Spin slipstream. He's going to try and get the move done here, and it looks like Pyro's coming under a bit of pressure from Anonymous as well. We'll stick on board with Spin and see what ends up happening. Kanata looks like he's going to try and go for it, backs out at the last minute. Spin nearly loses it on the grass again, but saves it, and we head into the final corners as we were. Oh, Kanata's really fancying a move now. Getting quite impatient. We've got Ethan up into the top 10 now as well. So out of the top guys, it looks like Spin seems to be struggling the most on these mediums. Going quite deep in the corners, probably because he hasn't adjusted his braking well enough to account for the worse tyres. Again, deep on the exit of that corner. Just allows Kanata to get a little bit close, put Spin off on the entry into that corner. Now it might be able to get him up the hill. Spin going slightly defensive into the corner, but it's going to be the exit that's going to be important here. Ethan right behind them as well, maybe fancying a position or two. And yep, nothing he could do just then. But now it looks like he's got alongside on exit. We need to get a better camera angle than that. And Spin again survives just about. It's a race down the hill. Kanata looking for a move, but he can't get there. Spin's car is jumping all over both sides of the track there. And a bit of a wide exit from Kanata is going to allow Spin to start to drive off slightly. Let's see what's going on at the front. So Deco has built a huge lead at this point to Eroticos. Really feeling comfortable. His tyres are maybe 40% worn. More worn than Eroticos. Eroticos has damage. Let's see what happened to him. Yep, he didn't go in a second gear on a second gear corner and he went wide on the exit, so that'll do it. Regardless, he's got still quite a big lead on Harry. Harry's still in no man's land in P3. Peachy just feeling fairly comfortable in P4 as well. You can start to see Harry in the front, so you can monitor his progress that way. Pyro all on his own in P5. He's dropped Anonyma, who's gone off track. This might allow for Prime Call to get a move. The braking zone comes a little bit too close for him to think about pulling alongside Anonyma there. So Anonyma gets away with that. But yeah, he's dropped a position of Pyro, and now Anonyma might be the next one. Now we've got Spin actually dropping positions here as well. Something's happened with Spin. Spin's also on the hard tyres, so that explains why he's not doing too good. And he gets, yeah, oh dear, this ain't good. So Ethan's going to get past Spin because it might actually get Kanata as well. Looks like Hurricane's going to sweep on through as well. The hard strategy not working when you've got a bunch of fast cars ready to exploit any mistake, and if you do make a mistake you could just get nudged off track because they're trying to come through as well. And no, yep, there's the reverse. So down to the back for Spin. Kind of taking that corner incredibly wide, but it's going to help him get a fairly decent exit. Ethan didn't really get a good exit compared to Hurricane. Hurricane might fancy another move. Remember, he won his first race back last week, but not having as good of a time here at the Nord. Nord always brings up some wacky results where people are incredibly good at the Nord, more so than other tracks, and some people are just really horrendous at it and can't string a lap together. And that happens in every tier as well. So you always end up getting some shocks. It is called the ultimate challenge for a reason. Kanata really wide again. But again, he gets away with it. They're starting to reel in Anonyma and Prime Call. Anonyma has completely lost Pyro up the road, so now he's still under a bit of pressure by Prime Call, and Kanata might start closing the gap as well. Just find a bit more pace. Already dropped 20 seconds to Deco on the first lap. Yep, they're taking the corners fairly decently, no major mistakes at the moment. Anonyma going a bit wide there, but you can get away with it because of the little grid that's on the grass. Give you a bit more grip. Yep, there's Kanata closing the gap. Anything going on a bit further forward? Absolutely nothing. Let's just have a little run through. Pagel's down in 13th. Trying to recover. He's slowly catching up to Cameron. Cameron's had an absolutely torrid season. He won races last season in Tier 3. So in theory, he should be doing the same again, but he's just not been able to get any performance out of this Jag. As you can probably see, he's losing loads of time on a section of the track. Every car should be fairly even on pace. Yeah, he's going to come under a little bit of pressure from Pagel. A little bit further forward, Astro has been overtaken by Hurricane now. So Hurricane in the top 10. Astro trying to get that position back. He did start 11th and he hasn't been able to make progress up the field like some of the other drivers have. And he's not really had a good exit of that corner. Hurricane extending the lead on the exit of that corner. Prime Call might be able to catch Anonyma here. The McLaren doesn't enjoy 6th gear and the FT1 does, but you can see the power of the slipstream. There's a headwind on this straight as well, affecting Anonymous a lot more than Prime Call. And there we go. It looks like it might have been at the perfect moment because Prime Call still got the overspeed on Anonymous heading into the braking zone. And there is P6 for Prime Call. Next up for him will be Pyro. That really solid overtake for Prime Call. If that was any other track, the corner would have arrived long before he could get alongside, but here we are. One of the things to factor when you're picking a car with the Nordschleife on the calendar is that incredibly long straight. Astra is starting to put pressure on Hurricane now as well. SpongeBob SquarePants livery on Hurricane's car, which is interesting. Anyway, he's took the first sector a little bit better than Astra. Astra must have made a mistake whilst we were admiring that unique livery. A bit further forward, everyone's starting to spread out again, but Kanata is going to, I'm going to assume, catch Anonymous over the next couple of sectors here. Anonymous quite wide through that corner, and Kanata touching the apex, but yeah, starting to reel him in as well. As a result, you can start to see Anonymous getting a little bit bigger on the screen. Very late on the brake by Kanata, goes all the way down to first gear to make sure he can take enough speed off the car and make the corner. Seems to be working pretty well for him. I always take that corner in third, so maybe I'm wrong, because I'm not very good at the Nord anyway. No one really making any huge mistakes. Everyone seems to have settled down a bit. Anonymous going a bit wide again. They're all avoiding that curb like the plague, going around it, and instead going quite wide. Deco with the fastest lap, our race leader, with a 35.8, which is pretty quick on medium tyres. Kanata's tyres are already looking not good. Let's do a little tyre recap. So this is the lap where everyone's going to be pitting, but Deco might be flirting with a puncture territory by the end of this stint. Roticos are a tiny bit better. Harry's pretty bad as well. Peachy's looking absolutely fine. Pyro a little bit worse than Peachy, but should be fine as well. Prime Call laughing. Anonymous a little bit worse, but for the FT1 not too bad actually. Kanata is got a bit better on the rears, but identical on the front, so he's not going to have a tyre advantage over Anonymous. He's going to have to overtake on pace. Then we got Hurricane. Looks like he's struggling quite a lot on the rears, but not on the fronts. But yeah, those rears might be a problem. And yeah, Ethan's not got any problems. The Jag is usually fairly good on tyres. Prime Call closing the gap in the meantime to Pyro. And now we're in slipstream territory as we start going up the hill. The second incredibly long, well actually the third incredibly long acceleration zone of the track. On course to set a lap in the 6-minute 30s if they weren't coming into the pits, that is. Everyone but I think, oh, got a little battle here. Kanata really up the back of Anonymous right now. Fortunate for Kanata, his livery didn't load today, so we don't have the delights of that. And yeah, Anonymous stretching up the hill with the FT1. It does have a very, very good engine on it. Allows him to survive. Also, Prime Call starting to put a bit of pressure on Pyro now as well. So will Pyro be able to hang on to this P5? Oh, it is your livery, okay. Oh, Pyro's wide into the corner. That allows Prime Call to get the position very easily. Bit of an unforced error there from Pyro as we're going up. We know the Master doesn't like the curbs. He tried to avoid them and then took too much of the other curb. Lost traction midway through the corner, and Prime Call gets very easy position there. I thought it was going to be a bit more difficult for him to get that one. But a little bit of a gap to Kanata, who's actually overtaken Anonyma as well. So let's see what happened here. So 2 overtakes at the exact same part of the track, actually. Anonyma, just like Pyro, went too wide there. He actually clattered the wall. Kanata alongside at the moment. And Anonyma loses traction on the exit as well. And yeah, easy position there for Kanata. He needs better though. He's in P7 and he's fighting for a championship where his rival is in the top 4. So let's see what everyone else is up to. Deco, really wobbly up the hill there. That is a full throttle corner. Bit of instability there for the Supra, but he's got an absolutely huge lead over Eroticos, and then the lead between Eroticos to Harry is enormous as well. So I think the top 2, barring any huge mishaps, is pretty much done and dusted as we head to the halfway point of the race. Harry pretty much on his own as well. Peachy not really closing him down. He was slower on lap 2 as well when they both just had clear air. Prime Call hasn't done much to get away from Pyro, so there could be an opportunity on the back straight for Pyro to get Prime Call. Let's ride on board with Pyro and see how they approach these last couple of corners before the back straight. Looks a little bit stronger for Pyro. He needs another better corner if he wants to really take advantage of the slipstream. And it might not be enough in the slipstream this time. They'll be pretty close as we enter the pits, and Primecall does have more fuel, so he should get out comfortably ahead of Pyro in the pit stops. Yeah, there goes Deco already in the pits. We're only halfway down the straight here. Deco with 24% fuel left, just a couple below what Eroticos has on 26. I think if you're over a quarter, you're doing pretty good in terms of fuel consumption. Harry with 26 as well. Now we've got Prime Call about to duck right into the pits right here. And Pyro as well. Both make it in. Prime Call with 30% fuel, much higher than everyone else. Pyro really was pushing because he's only got 23, same as Kanata, which we know the BMW is thirsty. Ethan with only 17%. I thought the Jag was a little bit better on the fuel. Deco is already out, by the way. Astro makes it in. We got Jezza and we got Spin. Spin's going to be doing one more lap on those hards, I'm pretty sure. Maybe he's going to go on the softs at the end, but it isn't working out for him at the moment. So let's see, has everyone come out all right? Looks like everyone's dodging the 3-second penalties as well. Here comes Prime Call. Dodge the penalty. Here comes Pyro. Then we've got Kanata and Anonyma. Spin is currently, after everyone has made a full pit stop and he still has to make his, only up into 12th. Only ahead of Cameron and Astro. So not too great strategy, I don't think, there for Spin. Not having a good time on the hards. You see Peachy's still quite a way behind Harry, so he's got a lot more work to do if he wants to get that podium today. Everyone's starting to spread out a little bit now. Anonymous kept up with Kanata fairly well after losing that position on the previous lap. I don't suppose many people will be choosing the FT1 next season. I think it's been in 2 or 3 tiers. It's not done well anywhere, I don't think, apart from Sardinia. Very wide, very wide. That's going to allow Kanata to start getting away a bit more, but there's a big gap to Hurricane down in 9th, Pagel in 10th. So Pagel in the wars, he's still only 10th, and Ethan had to put in loads of fuel, so he's dropped down to 11th now, but he's going to push for the rest of the race. Deco sporting a Deadpool Wolverine livery. don't know which half is giving you luck, because the first race didn't give you much luck. At the second race seems to be working out a lot more in your favour. Then we have the traditional Renault colours on Rotico's Balkan Racing livery. I think this might just be the stock livery for the Nissan actually. And then an Opel livery for Peachy and Kanata today. They usually sport the Toyota one, but they've gone for Opel today. And Prime Call with a special Nürburgring livery. Actually, it's really cool. It's got the Nordschleife on the bonnet, and a very like British racing green mixed with like a nice red colour there as well. We've got Pyro in 6th place, trying to get that position back off Prime Call. Kanasa pretty much on his own now, started to drop Anonyma, Hurricane 9th, and Pagel 10th. Might come under a little bit of pressure here from Ethan. Ethan going all the way onto the concrete there. And wide entry into the corner there for Pagel. Yeah, it's a good fastest lap. These guys, you know, a lot of people were only in the 30s on soft tyres, and, you know, as long as it's a tidy lap, a 30 on any tyre is pretty decent. I don't think the tyres matter as much around the Nordschleife compared to other tracks, because it's just difficult nailing every corner anyway. But yeah, not much happening with the battle here. Oh, looked a little bit hairy for Hurricane around one of those corners, but he looks like he got away with it pretty well. This is, I'm not gonna lie, this is a horrible livery. Sorry, mate. I don't know why you've got SpongeBob SquarePants as a livery, but hey, not judging, just yeah. Oh, what's happened with Cameron? It was going pretty well. He'd worked his way up to 12, going up the hill. Going to be in the braking zone. He brakes quite late and then he puts it on the curb, loses traction, which means he can't brake in time to make the corner. And yeah, a little bit scruffy there for Cameron, really struggling since the physics update, and now he's got damage and he's got Spin chasing him down pretty quickly. Spin is still on these hard tyres, so getting overtaken by him will not be good for Cameron. Astro trying to get a move done on Spin himself. He's got fresh mediums compared to 1 hard tyres. And yeah, nothing Astro can do at the moment to get past Spin. As long as Spin just makes the corners, I think it's going to be pretty impossible. He goes, oh, a little bit of contact between them, let Spin off, but he didn't exit that corner very well. He's a bit out of shape. And this is part of the track where it is easy to go out of shape, because these corners are the trickiest ones to learn, because they're so late in the lap. That if you're just practicing, a lot of people just reset and restart the lap if they make a mistake and they don't even get to these tricky corners. So you can easily see on some streams drivers like take 4 or 5 seconds out of other drivers just because they know this crucial sector a little bit better. Spins off. I think a little bit of lag came into play there, but Astro's actually backed off as well. I don't think, maybe he didn't need to do that, but that's allowed Jezza to finally get a position. He's going to get another one on Spin as well. Spin's got damage as well, so that's why that's happening. Let's see what's going on a bit further forward. It looks like Eroticos has caught up to Deco a little bit. I wonder if there's been a mistake somewhere for Deco. No. I'm going to say no, I'm not going to rewind to try and find one, because his lap time looks like it's going to be fairly decent anyway. But yeah, potentially not over yet. Oh, there was a penalty Deco had to serve, that's why he's lost time. So 37 was that lap, it is an out lap. It's just a second slower than Eroticos actually. See what Harry's up to with his times. 37 as well. So everyone's lapping very similarly. 38 for Peachy. Yeah, everyone's doing pretty much identical times. Pyro in the 36 is slightly faster than everyone. Another 37. Anonymous had a bad outlap. He's in the 40s already. So he's like 6 seconds down on everyone in front of him at least on this one lap. A 40 for Pagel as well, not great. Yeah, and again for Ethan, not doing too good. So, where does everyone stand at the moment, championship-wise? It looks like Peachy's going to extend on Kanata. There's 3 positions separating them, which is the same as the number of positions separating them in the sprint. But Kanata did get this pole and fastest lap of the sprint, so he is going to close the gap, but it's only slightly, like what we see with Lando and Max every week. The gap does close, but not by enough for it to be significant. So it really is prime position for Peachy in this championship. As long as everything stays as it does for these last couple of laps. Deco sliding through some of these corners. Rotico's sliding as well. So really leaving it all hanging out, and on this really fast left-hander. There's a little slide for Harry also. Peachy's not really close enough to Harry to make a challenge. Actually, Primecall's starting to close the gap on Peachy, so this could be a big opportunity for Kanata. If Primecall can continue to drive solidly here and can catch Peachy in these last couple of laps, it should work out pretty well for him. Let's see what happened with Spin. Spin's down in 14th, so we had a couple of drivers, actually one driver quit. I can't quite tell which one that was. But yeah, Spin's down in 14th. He's gone on to the medium tyres just for 2 laps, so he's going to have the pace on everyone. But he's a long way back. I'd be surprised if he didn't finish 14th at this point. Oh, something's happened. Something's happened with Deco. He has been caught by Eroticos here. So let's see what's going on with Deco, because Eroticos really closing the gap now. Deco's got damage, so before we joined him, he obviously went in the wall, but let's not rewind again. Eroticos very close now as we head into the first gear left-hander. Eroticos trying to get a good exit out of that corner. Deco doesn't have the damage anymore, but he doesn't have a good exit from that corner. He's going to go defensive already. Eroticos going very much on the grass there to make sure that there was no contact between them both. It looks like Eroticos has a great opportunity here to catch Deco. Deco looks like he isn't very composed at this stage of the race. This might give him a bit of breathing space though. Uphill section where the Renault's going to struggle up the hill here, but he is closing the gap again in that corner. He should be a little bit in the slipstream, but I still think Deco might start driving away from him up the hill. Deco with the fastest lap as well, so this has been a really good feature race. It's just starting to get a little bit hairy, because it should have been done and dusted really for Deco. But yeah, he had a penalty and then obviously went into the wall. And Eroticos hasn't put a foot wrong all race so far, from what we've seen anyway. Yeah, taking that corner much better than Deco as well. Didn't have to lift there, but because he did, that has cost him a couple of tenths. Yeah, a little bit wide on the exit as well. So this is the breathing space that Deco desperately needs at the moment, so that he can stop looking so much in his mirrors. Takes carousel a little bit better than Eroticos as well. They both take loads of curb on the exit there, and then both go a little bit too wide around that corner. So they're making micro mistakes, but they're making identical ones. Like I said, this is the sector that is going to make or break the race for these two. We've got another lap to go after this, but this is the sector where people tend to be making mistakes more often than not. A little bit wide there for Roticos, gets away with it. nothing going on behind them at the moment. Eroticos nearly loses it on the exit of that corner. And Deco makes a bit of a pig's ear of that corner. Now Eroticos really has closed the gap. But then Deco starts to drive away from him again because of that engine. Eroticos needs to close the gap significantly on these next couple of corners because we're heading towards the back straight again. Eroticos nearly in the gravel there, a bit deep into that corner. Now the final carousel, a little bit twitchy on exit from Eroticos, allows Deco to extend down here. Now the last little braking point, well, you don't even really need to brake there, but yeah, a bit wide around that corner for Deco. Looks like Eroticos got a better exit. Now it's just going to be what's stronger, the slipstream with a headwind or Deco's GR Supra. Right, heading to the other side of the track, are we? And it is helping Eroticos. He is benefiting from the slipstream, but he isn't really closing the gap. Yeah, there's not much he can do. It's helping him get a faster lap than what he's previously done, so he might actually be on the fastest lap here. Oh, very deep by both of them into that penultimate corner. And it's going to be a tight one for this final lap in the battle for P1. Neither of them get the fastest lap of the race. That stays with Deco, so unless someone else can do something, I'm not too sure that can be beaten. Anyway, Deco looked like he nearly went off track there, got away with it. Let's join Deco and watch from this view. Right, going to have a little drag race uphill coming up after this corner. Oh, very wide there from Eroticos. Managed to keep it on track still. Physics-defying driving there from Eroticos. Right, really tight right-hander. Looks like Eroticos did a little bit better to carry the speed through. So they're still pretty much at an equal distance here. The advantage still lies with Deco. He's got maybe 2 seconds at this point on Eroticos. It's just a case of Eroticos seems to be better in the corners, not so good on that exit though. Deco seems to be just pulling away on the straights. Left-hander, and they both make it. Then you have to swoop to the outside before turning onto the inside, a little bit better than what Eroticos managed. Took a chunk of the curve on the inside and the outside of that previous corner. That gives Deco some more breathing space. He lifts and he goes off track. Is he going to make the corner? He's not. He was going into the corner in fourth gear. Eroticos follows him off. Oh no! Right, we need to rewind and see what is going on here. Deco coming into the corner. Eroticos has full sight of him. Deco off track already, then brakes and just hits the barriers. Then Eroticos just follows him. So what was Eroticos up to? These guys with a massive lead might still be in the top 2. We'll have to wait and see. Eroticos actually goes wide as well there. What is going on? The wind might have had something to do with it, but yeah, pushing too hard, both of them. Deco keeps P1. Eroticos and Deco both have identical damage on their cars as well, with obviously very dirty tyres. This is going to be a weird end to the race for these two, making identical mistakes. Eroticos obviously just following the line of Deco, and could have had a comfortable lead if he'd have just been a bit more careful. Complete unforced error from both of them. Yeah, the damage is gone. Oh, Eroticos a little bit squirrely out of that corner, gives Deco even more breathing space. They lost 5 seconds is what they lost doing all of that. But yeah, still a long way ahead of Harry. Harry is getting caught now by PG and Primecall and Pyro and Kanata. So we've got a nice little battle for P3 stretching all the way down to P7. So this might be the one to watch for the rest of the race. Harry's tyres looking pretty worn. Looks like he's got maybe 20% left maximum on that front left. So he might be struggling at the end if he's been pushing this stint a little bit harder than the previous one. Peachy is getting caught by Primecall pretty well now. So yeah, Primecall absolutely on fire in this feature race coming through. And he's dropped Pyro a little bit. Pyro's looking a bit distant in the rear view. Now, one of the trickiest corners on the track, this one. And yeah, they both took it very cautiously, not wanting to risk anything on this final lap. You could take that with so much more speed. But yeah, it's risk versus reward at this point. No one wants a gifted win. I'm pretty sure everyone would take a gifted win. I mean, it's not a gift if the other driver crashes, then they're not good enough to win if they get overtaken. Right, not much Primecall's doing at this point. Peachy's looking fairly composed here. Erotico's not really doing much to close the gap on Deco. Yeah, it's certainly not over. Deco, if he makes another mistake, will allow Eroticos through. Yeah, not much to be done at the moment. Primecall's still not that close to Peachy, but yeah, looking pretty composed. That McLaren just looks like he's got so much grip, to be honest. Not unlike the Mazda, which is, I mean, just see how he takes this corner. It's gonna be rough. Yeah, and that's allowed Kanata to close right up because it's just no confidence. Kanata really low on fuel actually. I wonder if he's gonna run out before the end. Not what you want to be doing when you're in the championship fight, for sure. See, because Pyro's got quite a lot of fuel and Primecall's got way more fuel than that. Maybe Primecall overfueled in the pits. So we are about to head onto the back straight for the final time. Let's rejoin. We've got an opportunity. If Eroticos is close enough to Deco in the GR Super, he can get an overtake done here. This is the final opportunity for an overtake. Maxing out 7th gear in the Renault. Deco is protecting the inside line, and yeah, Eroticos is starting to lose a few kilometers an hour now as he's out of the slipstream. Deco edging back ahead again. Really unfortunate for Eroticos. It looks like Deco's gonna keep this one as long as he can make the final corner. Yeah, Eroticos has to back out a little bit, and it looks like Deco is going to hold on to P1. A lot more hairy than we expected, but a fantastic victory in the GR Super for Deco. Eroticos in the Renault gets second. Harry being third the entire race. He's going to get his first podium since coming back to ALR. P3 in the Nissan GTR, just ahead of Peachy, who once again extends on Kanata with this strong P4. Primecall in 5th place, really solid result for him. Pyro 6th. Kanata with the fastest lap is out of fuel like we thought, but he still gets 7th nonetheless. We got a bit of a gap down to Anonymous all on his own in P8 in the FT1. Pretty solid result in a pretty bad car. Best lap in the 43s though, so really struggling on those medium tyres all race. Ethan down into 9th place. Pagel, who had his incident, couldn't recover from it. And once again, a really damaged Mazda takes the checkered flag P10 for Pagel. Cameron recovered fairly decently, is going to take 11th overall, ahead of a few other cars. You got Astro in 12th as Jezza completely misses his braking point. Astro gets away from him and gets P12. Will be fairly disappointed with his run out in the Nordschleife. Jezza 13th, and then Spin with his strategy, which didn't pay off, and he's out of fuel at the beginning of the straight. It's going to be a long end to the race for Spin. So let's have a quick look at what the standings look like right now. We've got, obviously, in the Constructors, BMW are the champions. They've already got 119 points on the Renault, so they can't be caught now. Peachy is in P1 with 194 points. Kanata is on 170, so there's a 24-point gap, and 43 points are on offer tomorrow in Interlagos. Prime Call mathematically still in with a chance of the championship as well. He's 42 points behind, so with 43 on offer, basically he needs Peachy not to score a single point tomorrow, and he has to score perfect to have a chance of winning. But yeah, still within the chance, a shout, especially after missing a race. That's a pretty good return for him. So yeah, three-way fight tomorrow to keep your eyes out on. Join us then. We're at Interlagos. Thanks for watching. I'm not going to wait for Spin to finish his race because we'll be here all day. But yeah,